All right, good morning, folks. Welcome to the Coffee Run with John from Pro Craps on Casino Gaming TV. Sorry, we're a little late today, but Joe from Craps Master Journey is going live, of course, before me, and he's on a heater right now, so I wanted to give him a chance to run that roll. I think he's on like roll 28 or 29 right now, but we're getting close to 10 minutes overdue for us, so I'll go live. I hate to interrupt him when he's throwing like that, but it is what it is. You guys are here waiting for me, so I'm sure I'll have a nice late arriving crowd today. You can fill them in on the Yolo that we're about to do. I got a couple of questions there in chat to answer, and then we'll get our show started. So without waiting around, let's jump right to the Yolo here. I'm going to go, let's see, where are we at with the Yolo? We are, before we do the Yolo, we have to talk. Serious, right? We have to do reminders that the Yolo is all in, right? I go all in, and we're looking to turn $64 into $100,000, right? It's crazy town. That's not the way you should be gambling, right? The goal for that strategy actually is just to have a good time with $65. But in reality, we talked about this on Craps Chat last night. Your bankroll and your goal are very tightly intertwined, right? Your goal might just be to have fun. Your goal might be to last for a long time. Your goal might be to win a bunch of money. Your goal might be to build a bankroll, to build a bankroll. Make sure the bankroll and strategy that you pick are tied together to meet the goal. That's an important thing. People forget this sometimes, right? And I know that gambling is gambling, and there's no advantage to playing how we do things, right? You're not gonna win over time, but in the short-term sessions when you're there, hitting your goal I think is important. And I know that there are people who disagree with that, but at the end of the day, it's the way that you win, right? It's the way that you stay ahead of the game while you have a chance to, I think, and that's the way I don't believe, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. I'm not a believer in chasing the monster, right? I don't believe in that as the way to get it done, which is why I think my emotional EQ is high, and why my discipline I think is already so high, right? Because I've stopped buying into that mindset, right? And I've changed myself as a player. Okay, I think you should as well. I think you should endeavor to watch our shows and listen to the YouTube videos and all the strategies and filter it through this lens right here. All right. Anyway, the Yolo, we are now 11-0 on this run. Remember, we burned 2 bankrolls. We burned the $64 twice, okay? This current streak is 11. We're at 482 in the rack. I'll show you, actually, let me show you the rack here. I'm going to go, let's go lights on, and I'll show you the rack. We are, let's see, where's the Yolo screen? There we go. Rack has got 482 in it, right? There's 72, 70 of that though is over here for safekeeping. 70 of that we kept aside. In case we burn the bankroll, we have $70 to play with. And so far, we've been fine, right? Our first $65 is still, this is it, right? We burned it, we won it, we burned it, we won it. Here we are, 482 in the rack. Let's lay that out there and let's see what we're gonna do with it, all right? Give me a second to move my stuff out of the way here. And let's see what we can do today. I think we're gonna be same level as last week, right? I think we're not. We have enough for the 4 and 10 to go up. I think, don't we? I think we're at 320 across, right? At least 320 across. Yeah. There's. Look at this. We can actually go to 90 on the 6 and 8, right? Yes, 96 and 8 to win 105. We can go 50 on the 5 and 9. I can't get them any higher than that, really. We'll go to $60 there, and we'll do a $12 horn, and I'll put the horn bet here on the C&E, but it's a horn bet. All right, so we've got 90 on the 6 and 8 to win 105, 60 on the 5 and 9 to win 84, and 50 on the 4 and 10 to win 100. All right, again, I guess, you know what? I think I said last week, I'm going to change it. We're going to go 75 on the 5 and 9. We're going to make it 330 inside, and we're going to go 35 on the 4 and 10. That's what we said. And if we happen to catch a 4 and 10, we'll go for the flip. That's what we said last week, so I'm going to stick to that. All right, here we go. The one roll for the day is coming up. Shaking the dice, and here we go. One roll, and now you can see the landing zone. I changed the camera over the weekend. You can see the landing zone. Here we go. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the table. You can't see them. I'm like 19 feet away. Here we go. Here come the dice. 1, 2, 3, go. And we got a 4, 2, 6. Now we're cooking. Right? $105 on the win. That's fantastic. We'll take away the horn bet. But look at us go. Now we have an extra $100. Now we're at 500 and change to play with next week. We can go 550 inside. We can do all sorts of cool stuff next week or tomorrow. So, yeah, baby. Let's color this up. Actually, I'm going to take these reds here as greens, just because I wanna. And what's our total here now? We've got 100. That's 4 greens. 200, 300, 400, $505 to play with, plus our 70. That's it. We have 70 saved up. So we have $500 to play with tomorrow. Awesome. This is where we burned last time. Remember, we got the $500 the last time. We burned it right here. Let's hope tomorrow is kind to us. We can get past the $500 mark and really have some fun, right? That's when this thing gets to be a little bit more interesting. So, all right, here we go. You only live once. There it goes. Okay, let's get to the light being turned off because I get that weird shine on my face. And there was a question that I want to get to right away. I'm gonna move ahead here. There's a question I want to get to that I saw right away from who wrote the question. It's a good one. Tool of Paradise Trey wants to know about the dates for Craps for the Cure. Well, here's the dates. It's September 12th to 14th, right? 12th is the Friday, 14th is Sunday. My birthday is the Friday, so we're celebrating my birthday as a group. And then Saturday, Sunday is going to be the Craps for the Cure event live in Vegas. It's going to be we're gonna host the whole thing at Casino Quest, which is right across the street essentially from Palace Station. So rooms will be at Palace Station. We've all got a 25% discount coupon. I'll post that up on the website. You're right. Somebody said the website's not updated yet. I will get to the website being updated ASAP. Now we have dates. We have a host venue, Casino Quest. We have a host casino at Palace, and we have a little bit of a discount. So, so there's that. We're gonna be having some fun. We're working on the event finalization. I'm talking to, we have a crew, you know, it's Jen and it's Craig and Chris and Jeff from Atlantic Craps. Pardon me, Ryan, and who else is on that? Brian's on that, is on the crew. Ian also, of course, talking about what the events are going to be. The change this year is going to be less interviewing and more craps, right? We do the interview thing every year, and it's okay to have interviews, but it's basically, it's me on camera with somebody for the whole damn 24 hours. Really should be more fun stuff to do. This year, I really want to focus on the fun, do some more on table competitions and that kind of stuff. So we'll have a better time. We actually talked about doing like a craps crawl down the strip and filming that thing, more live play. And anyway, we'll do some public planning sessions. I'll start sharing with you. I'll have a deck. Part of this everyday morning show will be like an update on what's coming. So you always have an idea of what's happening. So plan for a daily, or at the very least a weekly, Craps for the Cure update from me on this show. You'll always be informed. So Kay Fisher, yeah. So win streak of 12 means no come out 12s in 7 consecutive, or 12, come out 12, no come out 7s. Essentially what I'm doing is it's one shot, right? So when I do this in the casino, I do it at the stadium typically, because it's a pain to bet that way, right? To just put random money out there, and dealers hate that. And of course, if you're betting and you want to pull your bets down, put the YOLO bets out there, it's kind of a nightmare. At the stadium, it's nice because you have your terminal, right? And I put a ticket in. That's my YOLO ticket. It's got 505 on it. I go across with a little bit of a horn. And then I just pick a roll. It's not a come out roll. I just pick a roll. So the persons are shooting. I'm like, okay, this is the one right here, YOLO. And I turn the bets on, and that person shoots the dice, and I win or not on that one roll, cash the ticket out. And I wait till the next person. And then I put my other ticket back in. I just play for a while. And when I'm ready to YOLO on somebody else, I switch the tickets out, make the bets. That's what I do with it. On the Craps for the Cure, on the run that we're gonna do, I'm literally gonna walk up to live tables with $64 at Palace Station, put the money in. We're gonna hit the strip. I'm gonna go to every casino and just take whatever I want at the last place and drop it on the table for one roll and fucking leave, right? And it's gonna be filmed. It's gonna be a whole thing. So that's how we're gonna do that. And whatever I win, we'll just put it to the charity. Like that'll be a charity YOLO kind of a thing. So that's the plan there. And anyway, we'll give you more updates here as we go along, and I have more ideas, more things to do. We've got a lot of really good ideas, a lot of great fundraising things, such as the custom whiskey bottles that are getting created. There's lots of cool stuff that we can bid on. The idea this year is to have you not have massive auctions, but have lots of cool little things that are like, for example, we've already bought 2 dogs, right? We bought the dog that's named after Shiro. We bought the dog last year that's named after Chris, or that's for Chris Pearson. That's Ed Robinson's son. So we've got 2 dogs that are in training, right? This year we're going to pay for the training. So things like, we know that we need 313 bags of food. Each bag of food is $50. Everybody who donates $50 buys a bag of food, right? Veterans Moving Forward is going to write your name on the bag, take a picture of it, and start feeding dogs with it, right? That's the idea, is to pay for those dogs everything: the doctoring, the food, the toys, the training materials, their vests, all that stuff, right? So when I get the inventory of what we need, that'll be how we do the thing this year. So it's not going to be like, give me some random money, please. It's going to be, no, buy a bag of dog food, or you're going to buy a leash, or you're going to buy the harness, or whatever it's going to be. That's how it's going to go. So it'll be much more pointed this year, I think, and I think it'll be a good target for us to hit. And then, hopefully it's fun. But yeah, be there in Vegas. My birthday will be a fun weekend. Yeah, doers will hate this. They will hate us doing this. But you know what? When we walk in and find an empty table or an empty-ish table, we're going to walk in as a group and say, hey, look, we're doing a charity fundraiser. We're doing 1 roll at every casino. Here's the money. Put it out there for 1 roll, and the deal. We'll get them all. We're going to do a whole hype thing, right? They'll get excited about it. It's going to suck for 3 seconds, and we'll go and we'll get out of their hair, kind of a thing, right? That's how it's going to be. I'll make sure that we're well received, and we'll call ahead too. Luckily, as you all know, I work for David at Casino Quest. He knows everybody, so the phone calls we made ahead of time that, hey, those guys are coming. Don't get pissed off when they get there. Where they're doing a thing for charity, and they'll know that we're on the way up the strip. So, all right, there's your update. The Brownwater Bash obviously is over now. They finished it last night. I had wicked serious FOMO all weekend for a lot of reasons, right? I really wanted to go. I really wanted to meet Ed in person and Gargoyle in person. Most other people I've played with at one time or another, but it's just like when you miss out on a chance to play craps with your friends and people that you want to hang with, it sucks, right? It's a big event and I missed it. I'm going to probably miss DiceCon too this year because of just reasons with family, right? My mom's moving. It's a whole thing with her moving to Jersey and coming here. My daughter's birthday is the same weekend as DiceCon. So I probably can't go to that either. Again, another huge swing and a miss for me, right? Which sucks. But, I think everybody had a great time. From all accounts, everybody had a good time. I'm not sure how much money anybody won. They had, ups and downs as you would expect over a 3-day deal, but they had fun together, and that's all that matters. I'm looking for hopefully some text updates today, and we'll get maybe some phone calls in too. And, I think Jeff and Gargoyle are doing a show tomorrow night that they'll probably recap it. I'm guessing you'll hear a few stories. So anyway, yeah, I'm glad they had a good time. And I'm sorry that I missed it, but here we go. Into our stuff. Let's talk about, it's a Math Monday, right? So I'm going to get not too deep in the weeds here with math today, like I do some Mondays. I just want to talk about these things here. And this came to me over the weekend, a little bit last night. As you know, I emailed with Delightful Kiss Boy. We've talked about his channel. He's a hater, man. He is a hater, not of me, but of gambling YouTube. He's a math guy. He's a coder, right? I'm a coder. Not really a math guy. Like, I love the math. I think it's interesting, but I don't let it like drive my soul. And the math guys will tell you, and they're right. Okay. Follow the math graph. Nothing you can do to change it, right? Over 100,000 rolls, you're not going to be able to change anything, right? It is what it is. You're going to lose. If you play the same way you always play, 44 inside, half press forever, if that's all you ever did in your whole life, you're going to lose an average of whatever it's going to be, whatever the house edge on those bets combined is. It's 3.2% or whatever it is. You're going to lose that over the course of 100,000 rolls. No changing it. Why bother? Right? Some people say that's bullshit. They don't understand the rhythm of the game. So when I see somebody rolling a bunch of 9s or I see a bunch of 6s on the dice, I'm going to start hopping stuff, right? I'm going to play a field game. I'm going to jump in and, when I see 9s, I know that 11s are coming next. I'm going to start, right? People do this. They think the math guys are crazy. The math guys think they are crazy. Yeah. There are strategists out there, Waylon being one of them, that believe they can beat the game with great strategy, with a big bankroll and the right strategy, and you're going to always come out on top. right? Or 90% of the time come out on top. You can't win 100%. If you win 90%, you're doing all right, right? Strategists feel like they've got the game licked, right? Some people just feel like they got the luck. My wife, God love my wife. She's a pain in my ass with the luck. She's so lucky. We were playing marbles last night, me, her, and my daughter, which is a dice game. I always make fun of her. I'm like, you know what? If the game's got dice in it, I'm beating your ass, right? Anyway, she is the luckiest person. Like, no matter what she needs to knock me off, she rolls the number. She's the luck person. She's the one that creates variance by showing up. That's Kathy. Now, the math guys think that's bullshit. I've watched her. I have watched my wife win a jackpot on a slot, and while she's waiting for the hand pay, plays the one next to her and hits the jackpot on that one and gets hand pay stop. I've seen her, right? She's insanely lucky, right? Where does she fall in the graph? I don't know, right? She's just always on the uptick. She walks in at the right moment, right? Then there's me, right? I'm a mix of some of this stuff, right? I understand the math. I got a good feel for the game. I understand the rhythm. My strategies are awesome, I think, right? But I have discipline. And the math guys, and this is where the discussion today comes from, the math guys and the discipline guys. I can understand the math guys and the feel guys really just thinking that each other's are assholes, right? The math guys will tell me that my disciplined play is a fool's errand. I've heard this, right? You can't win with money management. You can't win with discipline. If you think your strategy is so great, why would you stop playing it when it works, right? I always say this, 2 hits and down, walk away. Well, it worked. Why would you stop playing it? Because I know the math. I know that over time, it's not sustainable. But if you catch a little bit of a run, get out. Get out before the graph goes down. Or the second, if it's going up, and the second it goes down, stop playing, right? Don't let the long run get you. Like, maybe use a little bit of feel and sense a bad run, or feel like, you know what? I've done the variant thing. I've capitalized on my variant. When it starts going south, stop playing. That's discipline. That's quitting while you're ahead, right before it starts going bad, or as it's going bad, get out. That's not a bad way to play. And I think the Daily Paycheck show proved that that's a way that you can win more consistently than you should. That was an 85 or 80% winner on that show that we did for 200 and something days, right? How do you win at over 80%? By walking away when you're up. You don't win 80% of the time if you keep playing the same strategy over and over again and letting the math crush your soul. That's just the truth of it, right? And I think that when we have these discussions with people, just be honest about it, right? Everybody here's got a point, right? The math is what the math is. And if you play the same way, the math will get you. The math guys have all, in my opinion, given up and saying, fuck it. The math's going to get me anyway. I'm just going to have my good time. They've, I think, succumbed to the math and be like, they don't care, right? The feel people think they got everything licked. They're outsmarted. I think they're a little nuts when it's all feel all the time, the hopping people. But whatever, enjoy their thing. I think the strategists help you think through the game. Without Waylon, without Jeremy showing us a million strategies, you don't have, that's how you gain the knowledge of how the bets work. That's how you gain knowledge of chip movement. That's how you gain knowledge of rack management. It's how you gain knowledge of like, hey, I want to play this way with this bankroll today. I'm going to try something different, right? If I can catch a positive variant, I'll use my discipline to walk. And that's the difference between most of us, right? And I think that's important. All right. Holy Rollers in Rome at 4:40 p.m. I jealous, dude. What a great bucket list cruise this has to have been. I can't wait to hear the full story. It's going to be pretty awesome. Dan says that combining math and discipline is the formula, right? It's three things. You need all of it. You need math. If you don't know the math, you're going to fall to it. And that's just the truth. If you don't understand the law of large numbers, if you don't understand the fact that the graph will always start you here and end you here, no matter what happens, you're going to, oh, you can't see my, why am I over here? What the hell's going on with the camera? I didn't realize that. The math will always start you even, and you'll always lose in the end. Always, if you follow the math strictly, you're going to have these ups and downs throughout that whole process, right? But the point of it is, if you're smart and get out when you're up almost every time, you're going to be okay. The bad runs won't be as bad as they could be. The good runs won't be as good as they can be either, right? Think about that, right? The good runs won't also be as fantastic as they can be, because you're going to get out sometimes in the uptick, and that's got to be okay. That's got to be okay to leave something out there so you don't take it in the shorts coming back home. All right. So there it is. I'll stick with your conservative, consistent winning as well skill. So anyway, not that I have any answers for you here, right? It's just a matter of everybody here has got a little bit of juice. The math is correct. The feel guys, whatever. The strategy people, I think, are great teachers, and they give us a lot of ways to think through the game. You got to have luck a little bit, right? And if you don't have discipline, if you just burn your bankroll every single time, the casino will happily let you burn your bankroll. Discipline's not the key to winning. Discipline is the key to not getting your ass kicked. And that's the difference, I think, between bankroll building, pro style play versus anything else. All right, let's play some craps. Let's go out here and earn our daily paycheck. I'm going to go, I got a short-ish kind of show today. My daughter is actually leaving here at 8 o'clock this morning. So she was here for the weekends. I'm going to get 15 minutes to play with you. It's a math day. I think I put on here Excel duck and cover, which is not really the math play. Oh, by the way, we're up 16K. Not bad. 75% win rate because we leave quick, like I just said. But anyway, today I have Excel duck and cover here. We can do that, or we can do the Excel horseman. It is a math Monday. We should be playing low house edge, but somebody asked before to show duck and cover at the XL size. So let's show the duck and cover today at the extra large size. We're going to go from 550 to 160. That's going to be the plan today. All right. So let me go ahead and switch over. We're going to go to, let's see, I'm going to go to the right side, and I'll show you the bets here in a minute. I will turn Crapsy on. So give me a minute to, again, move my stuff, get the screens all set, and we'll get Crapsy going here. Let me get the refresh on the browser. Maybe. Is Crapsy down? I got a black screen. Oh, there it goes. This is hold tight. I never trust it because it seems very, the app seems very cagey anymore. It just seems like it's day to day. I can't seem to get it to function. Come on. Let's see. Pro Craps. There it is. We'll start the table. All right. So we're going to go with our, this is the bankroll from last week from Friday Follies. We have a $10,000 bankroll, not a 20, or not a 5,000, not a 10,000. Okay. And for the duck and cover XL size, what we're going to do is this. We're going to extra large the bets. It's the same system. We're just going to go big boy with the bets. We're going to go black chip level and see how we do. So we'll take, there's $1,000. I'm going to get 450 and change. We're going to go 550 inside. Now what I'm probably going to do, because here's another thing to think about. When you have a lot of money, right, you have more options. So when I'm doing this duck and cover at 110 inside, you really can't afford the 4 and 10. Here though, I can. So watch this. We're going to go 550 in, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 with the blacks. 125, 125, 150, and 150. It's 5, right? 400, 550 inside. Okay, I got 450 change in the rack. I'm going to take the 2 quarters and grab the 4 and 10. These are going to be inconsequentially sized bets, right? If I was doing this at 110 inside, this would be the equivalent of a $5 bet, which you can't make. But at the big level, you have options everywhere. You can go way up or way down with your wins here, right? This is an important thing to remember. Gargoyle talks about this all the time. Big bankroll is way different than small bankroll. Same strategy, but I can go from 125 to 25, right? And cap off profit quicker and still be at a quarter level. Whereas when you're betting 110 inside, your regression goes to $10 and you're not going to make any actual money. Follow? Here we go. Let's get it on out. I'm going to press the button, get your bets in and Crapsy. Let me get a shot of coffee here, and then we'll play for about 10, 15 minutes. Here we go. We're coming out. Again, I'm not playing the line. I'm just going to shoot. People ask me all the time, why don't you play the line on your shows? And the reason is I don't want to. I just want to show this part. I'm trying to educate up in here. This is like part of the game, but I'm trying to educate with how the strategy works. And that's the reason why I don't. Here we go. Let's come on out. Let's get the throwing angle. Come on, camera, do your thing. Hi. Holla. Here we go. Coming out. That's going to be a midnight 6 and a 6. That's good for me. I love seeing the 6s, especially on the bottom die. When the bottom die is a 6, that's good for me. All right, there's your first out of the gate 12. Why is there $1 here on the C&E? Must have been a remnant from last week. All right, there's a 6. Here we go. Kiss of the dice is a 6 and a 6. That would be a repeater midnight, by the way. Repeater midnight, 6-6. You know how much it is on Crapless, by the way? Can I just show you? Just for funsies? Because when I play Crapless, the outsides to me are gravy train, right? I don't even try to bet those things smart. It's a quarter on the outside, the 2, the 3, the 11, and the 12, right? And I play them repeater style, right? So the 12 hits, right? It's $150 on the buy bet, right? It's 6-1. And guess what? Boom. It's a full press, right? And that's all I care about. On those outside numbers, I'm looking for magic, right? And if that hits, that's 600 for the black, right? And that's 6 times 75 is, what is that? 150 and 150, $300. It's $900 win right there, right? That's not too shabby, actually, right? That's actually it's more than that. That's a great little way to pay for your trip right there. If you can catch what I just did on a Crapless table, all good, man. It's all good. I don't love Crapless. You know I don't love Crapless for lots of reasons, but if you can throw the horns and you bet them like a maniac, like that's a better bet to me than the ATS. I'd rather have $100 on the outside than burn 555 50 times. That's a better chance of hitting to me. There's a 6 and a 5. That's a yo. We are still not on a number, if you can believe it. Here's the horny come out, right? Good Lord. Horn betting time, says Dan, right? And if you're a field player, or if you know me, right? This is where I say the math people can suck it, right? Sometimes this happens, and sometimes a shooter gets into this kind of a pocket. If you're a field guy and you see John throw a horn, you get on the horn, maybe you get one of these days like this where that's all I'm throwing, right? Here's a 3, 5, 8. All right. 3 and a 5, that's an 8. Cool. We have a point. Let's make sure you can see. I think I didn't change the screen again. All right. I'll mark it up and let's go. We just need a couple of across numbers here to make things work, right? Maybe I'd like to get 3 of the box numbers. 3 box numbers really makes the duck and cover work well. 2 is fine. 3 is a profit. Here we go. Let's get in there. Let's get up in that box and make some dough. That's a 6, 3, 9. That's one of them. Sweet. All right, 6, 3. I'll put that typed in here. Okay, here we go. How that pays. 9 pays 175. Okay. Remember, duck and cover, you're going to bring something down to what we're going to call table minimum. The 9 hit, I'm not going to bring it down. I might throw another one. I'm going to bring the 5 down to a quarter. We're going to end up 160 across here, unless the 4s and 10s are hitting, right? I'm going to bring back out of the 550, out of the 600 actually, right? 275. So roughly half of my risk comes off the table on that first hit. Remember, out for 600, 550 in, plus the 4 and 10, in for 275 right there. That's duck and cover XL size. You can get, again, a lot more options when you have bigger money out there. You can go all different directions at all different levels. When you're starting at table minimum, you're kind of stuck there and there's not much you can do, right? That's why we say big bankroll makes a big difference in your options. That could have very easily turned into, by the way, a $300 9, right? I went to a quarter on the 5. If you're a presser at 175, bang, you're at $300 and your next win is going to almost be a purple chip, right? When you have the bigger funds, you have so many more things you can do with it, right? There was a kiss of the dice. That's 3, 2, 5. We hit the little guy, and that's okay. That's okay. 3, 2, 5. Now you have a choice here how you want to do it on duck and cover. The choice is this. Take the $35 win, which is, of course, you're going to have to, right? 35 bucks. Now, I can play the 5 independently, and I will, right? To me, that's going to be a press up, right? I'm going to get it. I'm going to try and get back to 220 inside, right? I'll press it. I'll keep the nickels for later. The question is, do I bring something else down at the same time? Do I also bring down a number and help myself out? Bring back another $100 off the table, bring the 9 down, or leave them sitting there. That's your choice here. And again, depends on where you are in your rack, where you are in your session, what you're going to do. I'm going to leave the big black bets up. I'm going to try and get 2 black level hits versus trying to run away too quick here. First shooter of the day. I'm not going to try and run away too fast. Let's go. Let's see if that's a good decision or not. Hey, George, how you doing, man? Good to see you. All right, here we go. That looks like a 9, 5, 4. So it's the repeater 9. That's great. Now we'll be out. Awesome. All right, let's go pay the bet. Again, it pays 175. I'll do 200 for 25 out of my rack. That's how we'll pay. 200 for 25. And let's bring it down to a quarter. Remember, I brought back the 275 the first time. I got 300 here, which means, look at my rack. Let's replace everything. There's five blacks. That's the purple chip. There's 4 blacks right there. So we're in our rack. We have we're down $40 in the rack for what's out there. Now, I can bring back the 6 and 8 down to $60 each or $30 each and lock up those black chips as profit. Or I can leave them out there at the black level and be a little bit greedy. At this point, the risk is almost 0. We're going to let the bet stay out there. We're going to try and get us another black hit. And if I don't get a black hit, I may decide to pull them down. Again, if I'm paycheck playing, right, it's more important that we get money into the rack than to play for a long hand. If I'm here to try and like destroy the table, I stay in longer, right? And that's your feel for the game or your discipline kind of chiming in. Bad throw, Johnny. Oh my God, a terrible throw. That's a 5-4. There's the 5. I'm talking while I'm throwing, so I'm not paying attention. 5, 4, 9. That's going to pay 35 like the 5 did. 25, 35. Again, that'll go to 50. I'll take the reds back. And, you know, maybe now it's not a bad time to pull these back, right? Now we're 220 in. I've got my $500. My rack is full. You didn't see that move, but the rack is now full. 5,000 back in the rack. I got 150 in locked up profit. I got 220 inside plus the outside for a quarter each, right? If I pull that down, I've got 220, 270 out there, and I got 150 in the rack. So I'm damn close to $400, right? Or whatever I got, 270, 370. Yeah, I'm at 425 in profit. Not a bad little morning so far. And now we can play it out. Now we can do all sorts of cool stuff. And at worst, I got my $100. At worst, we have some profit. Here we go. I gotta move the what do you call it? The little dice camera there. You can't see my grip. And that's gonna be the 7, 5, 2. That's fine. It was a kiss. You saw how they kissed. They did not throw them very well. Scattered and shattered and all good. We got profit out of the hand. I'm happy, right? I'm very happy. Not a bad start to the day. I'm going to go ahead and reset the bets and pay for them. So give me a second here. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to reset the board. We'll do one more run of that and then I'll call it because they got to get, they got a short day here, kind of. Okay, there's the 600 out there. There's 500, 600 out of my rack to pay for it. And here we go, right? We had a paycheck, but we decided to play a little longer, a little bit of greediness today. Sometimes the greed gets you, especially when I'm talking about it. It always seems to get me. Here we go, coming out. Coming on out. But yeah, this is duck and cover at the big boy level. I think it's cool because you get the options. How far down, how far up you want to go. Here we are. 6, 4, and a 2. Let's mark you up. If you're playing in Crapsy, this will probably be last shooter. It's 7:58, so I want to get done here. Reasonable time, so we'll call it last shooter preemptively. Let's just hope it's not a PSO last shooter. Here we go. What a great throw that was. What a great freaking throw. Good Lord, that was good. 3, 2, 5. All right, there's the first one. Again, I'll take a quarter from my rack here. Let's go to the screen. I'll take this quarter out of my rack. It pays $175. Give me 2 blacks for 1 quarter. There's the 2 blacks. And I'll take the 9 down to a quarter. And there's $300 back in the rack. And did I type that? I guess I didn't type it in, did I? Sorry. Got too excited about getting paid. I didn't type in that for Crapsy. So give me a sec. All right, here we go. One more, he said out loud to tempt fate. All right, dice are out. Yeah, I'll move that dice cam down at the bottom of the screen. I was changing some stuff over the weekend. So, all right, here we are. That looks like a 4-3 freaking 7. Damn it, Johnny. What a bummer. What a bummer. We go down in flames. 4-3. I wish I had more time to keep going, but I don't. All right, let's take the losses down. I'll recap a little bit here. Not 1, 4, or 10 today. Not crazy. All right, so we lose the big run there, right? But we have in our rack the 325 that we brought back. And remember, the nice thing about this one, right, is that on any hit, about half of your risk is coming home, which is kind of nice, right? So even though we got whacked for the 600, we brought $300 back. So we're only down for the day, actually $275 for the day. And we had our profit earlier, right? On shooter number 1, how many times do I do that, right? Shooter number 1, make my paycheck. What I do on the show sometimes is I keep on going because I want to roll the dice for half an hour and give you some entertainment. But in reality, that's a go home. That's a go home hit, right? In our old paycheck show, that would have been a go home hit. We would have been completely done right there. So discipline, discipline, discipline. Let's come on back and let's reset the table here. We'll talk for about 5 minutes and then I'll kick off. All righty. Let's go. All right, so Skill says to me, which of the 3 versions ColorUp is doing do I prefer? I think I prefer this one. It depends on the level, I guess, right? If you look at this strategy, let's do this at the bigger level. Okay, let me go back over where I just was. I want to show you something. At the bigger level where we just were, let's put it out there. If you go 550, and I'll try and be fast here, right? We'll do just the inside play out the 4 and 10, right? There's 1, 2, 3, and 1, right? If what happens here is this, if you do it the first way, the Uncle Mel way, and it pays $175, and you bring both the 5 and the 9 down, right? You have $375 in the rack, right? A little better than I just did, right? A couple of quarters extra, okay? On the next hit, Uncle Mel, no matter what happens, right? 25, $35. Okay, $35 on a 5 or a 9. You bring both the 6 and 8 back. I'll put this money over here and make them look like 30. right? There's 1, 2, 3, 400, 5, 675 bucks in profit, right? You're instantly up on any 2 hits with Uncle Mel's way, and you're down here. The other way though, the other advantage is, I'll put these back up for a minute, right? This way here, if the inside number hits, okay, and again, waiting for the inside number, I would have been here, not bringing them both down. What I would have done on my version of it is bring only one of them down. So you get paid your 200 bucks, or your 175 rather, right? Plus the blacks, you're at 275, not 375. Big difference there, right? Whole $100 difference. The next black hit, I guess my 8's not at the right level. The next black hit at 175, bam, and this all comes back, and you're got better profit, right? The idea here is that there's your 550. There's a $30 6 and 8 effectively, and you're 150 up, right? With 2 hits, you're 150 up. I like that better than being tied. I'd rather be up by 150 than being tied after the round ends. That's the difference. I like duck and cover a little bit better than the Uncle Mel way. And I like both of them better than the Casino Quest way, because I do like the Casino Quest. They take the 1 hit and spread to the outside, which is a cool move, but you're only about a third out of the hand. Uncle Mel's way and my way both get you about 50% out of the hand. Casino Quest gets you about a third out of the hand. So you need another green hit plus something else to really call it even. So it's harder to get even, although you're set up for a longer run a little better. Casino Quest gives you more opportunity. I think duck and cover gives you more profit short. The Uncle Mel way gets you safe faster. So each one has an advantage, I think. And I liked all 3 of them. I mean, I'm talking about like a 8, 8.5, 9 rating to me. They're all so very close. But the duck and cover to me just gives me, I'm still out in 2 rolls. I have more profit when it works. That's how I look at that one. So there we go. Let's see. Oh God, I gotta fix this camera. Is like facing the wrong way. There we go. I think I must have hit it when I walked by or something. So sorry about that. When I evaluate the strategy, right, and I do this every day, is that a smart way to play, right? Does it reduce your risk as soon as possible? I think it does, right? You have to put more money out there, but it does reduce the risk, right? It locks up profit pretty quick. In 2 rolls, you're generally speaking in profit. I like that part of it, right? Does it use leverage as a hammer? No. You're reducing your bets, not increasing your bets. So you have to use leverage later to win, right? So it's not a good leverage play. It's a good opportunity play, right? When you do lose, you don't lose a little, you lose a lot, because you have to go out big to regress down. But when you do win, it can win a lot of money. So it checks off some of the boxes, not all the boxes. I like this way of playing. If I'm going to be a right side player and I'm going to go at this thing saying, I want to make sure I have a clean base to play from and then go for it. Or if I say I want to go 2, 3 hits and walk away, that's a great paycheck play. 2 or 3 hits and walking away, as you saw on the first run. We were up, well, I forget, we're up 375 plus whatever it was. We were up 400 and change, right? In 2 or 3 rolls. I love that. I love 2 or 3 roll paychecks, especially when it reduces risk as we go. So there it is. I'm out of here, guys. I got to go say goodbye to my daughter. She goes back to college today. Yeah, I think that's it. Y'all have a great rest of your Monday here. I'll see you tomorrow and Wednesday. No shows Thursday, Friday, and all next week, most likely. I got paint and carpet coming in here over the weekend. I think Thursday is paint, and I think Monday or Tuesday is carpet. So the craps table's getting taken out of the room, and all the decorations are coming down. So it'll be naked in here. I'll be in my office only. So if I do a show, it'll be sitting at my desk, and we'll just have a little Q&A chat. So y'all have a good Monday. See you later. Love y'all. God bless. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say it earlier. If you haven't heard, prayers up for Alfredo. He lost his mother over the weekend. I know the family is heartbroken, especially the way that it went down. So thoughts and prayers to Alfredo. Good friend of ours, good part of the community, and just wish that family some peace. So that said, I'm out. Bye-bye.